We all done heard the saying, right? If a man don't work, he don't eat. We have heard this saying over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. If a man don't work, a man that don't work, he don't eat. A man don't work, he don't eat. A man that don't work, he don't eat. Yeah, we have heard that verse out of the Bible for years and years and years. We have heard that verse so many times. But how would you feel, or what would you think if I tell you that out of all the times people all throughout the years that have recited or repeated that verse time and time again, what if I told you that they misinterpreted that verse? What would if I told you that that verse wasn't meant to be literally? What if I told you that that verse meant to be figuratively or symbolically? But it is not. It doesn't mean what we think it means. Yes, that verse of if a man don't work, he don't eat. We have misinterpreted that verse for years and years and years. Now, if a man don't work, he don't eat. What does that verse mean to you then, Brother Abdullah? Some of you may ask. Okay, now I'm fit to break this down as simple as I can. What is a man, right? When we read scripture, it talks about man, especially in the Quran, the last revealed revelation of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, in English, God the Most High. And in the Quran, you will see where it says man. Man was this, man was that, man was this, man was meant to be tested, man was brought up. Man, 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 man. Now, literally, if one look at them, if one read those verses and take it literally, then you're just thinking it's talking about just men and men only. And it doesn't mean in a literally way, meaning just all the men. What people have forgotten is that a womb man, what does it say after the W and the O? It says man. Woman, woman. Woman as in a singular person, woman as in a singular person, women as in plural, as in more. So you have woman, which is man at the end, man at the end, and you have men, men at the end. So anytime that you read scripture, whether it's Quran or whether it's Bible, and it talks about man, 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 it's not just talking about men as in men, us men. It's talking about both men and women. A man, a man literally is me. I'm a man. At the end of woman, W-O, you have man. Just like I have explained. Have to forget. Don't forget the woman, we come from the woman, right? So, no, the woman comes from us. See how I got caught up in my own stuff? The woman comes from us. Womb man, which is Adam's rib, was a womb for the first created woman. Not meaning womb as in what's between the women legs as we know it, but Adam, but Allah, God, Yahweh, whichever one you want to use, whichever you prefer, use Adam's rib as the womb of for the one man, for the womb man. So when it mentions about man, More specifically in the Quran, when it talks about man, it's talking about both man and woman. So this whole thing about if a man don't work, he don't eat. That verse is not meant to be taken literally. It's meant to be taken figuratively, meaning both man and woman. Because what? If a man don't work, he don't eat. So that goes for not just men, that goes for women too. Because let's just say if a woman is single, if a woman is single, and it is a lot of single women out here, and if she don't got no job, and if she don't got no income coming in, and she don't got no help, then guess what? She don't eat. Same thing as with a man. Same thing as with a man. Because if that was the case, if a man don't work, he don't eat, meaning literally, meaning us men, if we don't work, we don't eat, then it'll be a lot of starving men. But the last time I checked, it's women that's all over, it's women all over the world that's starving too. So this verse, which is so famous that a lot of people like to use besides John 3:16, but this verse, when y'all women want to talk about men and call us dogs and want to try to dog us because we don't have a job, the first thing y'all want to say, the first thing your mama and your dad and your grandmama and your great granddad and your great and all this want to say, I ain't trying to be funny. Okay, I take the great grandmama, but your mama and your daddy, your homegirls and your sisters and your cousins, your aunties, the first thing they want to say, it says in the Bible, if a man don't work, he don't eat. Well, baby, that goes for men and women. Because guess what? If a woman don't work, she don't eat. If she don't got no help, she don't got nobody she can lean on, then guess what? She's going to starve. And the last time I checked, it is both men and women in this world that are starving, that are homeless. And may Allah fix their condition. So, yes, this is me, a Muslim, your Muslim brother, whether you want to accept it or not. I'm telling you that all this time that we have heard this verse and we have said it billions and millions of times, we have only taken that verse literally and we just always put it just on men when that verse is meant to be taken figuratively, meaning for both men and women. Because guess what? If you don't work, you don't eat. And that goes for both men and women. That is why it's good to study. That is why it's good to do your research. That is why it's good to have your mind open to other religions or other spiritual paths. That's where you can get some understanding. So the next time y'all want to use that verse out the Bible, think about it. Especially you ladies. Think about it. Because hey, it ain't only the men that don't work, don't eat. It is a lot of y'all women that if you didn't have no help, if you didn't have no child support to depend on, if you didn't have no pimp daddies and no sugar daddies, and some yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and y'all just sitting around don't got no jobs. Guess what? If you ain't have all that, you ain't get no food stamps. Then guess what? You won't. Since you're not working, you won't be eating. Let that sink into your spirit. So, with that being said, that verse we have misinterpreted all these years. It is meant to be taken figuratively, not literally. Universal Conversation Podcast, and I'm out.